Welcome back, golfers. Today we're at the Dairy Creek driving range and we're going to be working on our trail elbow today and helping you get it into the right position and show you a drill that you got to stop doing to make it better. So stick around. The trail elbow in the golf swing, such an important aspect of the golf swing because if utilized correctly, can give you more timing, can help you create more effortless power into the golf ball and make you a much better golfer. Today I'm going to give you 3 positions that the right elbow should get into, should be wary about getting into, and one you should definitely not get into. So let's get into it. So the first position that I want you guys to really be worried about getting into, and this is a drill that a lot of teachers over the years have taught golfers to do to get into this position, and I see it all the time, and that is the top of the golf swing. You get your elbow pressed tightly to your body. So it might look like this. So you're there, tight to the body, or might even be behind you, but it's squished into that position. And the reason that is when you get into your backswing, you get to the top, and if it's tight to the body, you don't have room to start moving down and through. The club at that point, once you start shifting your hips, is going to want to release off the top because the elbow has nowhere to move. Your box is already at the bottom, up against your body, and now your body is telling it, okay, I'm going to turn, and it's going to cause the club to release. And you often see this drill, somebody grabs a towel or they grab a glove and they say, put that underneath your right armpit right there. So then golfers practice this over and over. They hit golf shots and they keep doing this, where they're taking it back and they're squeezing that right arm or that trail arm to the side, and they get into that saying, okay, this is how I'm supposed to swing. But it also limits how far up you can take the club. It might even get the club behind you more and get you into a flatter position. That position, if you think about it, if I took a ball, and if I was gonna throw a ball, I would never stick my arm here and try to throw off my arm because there's no power there. If I'm gonna grab a ball and actually throw it, I'm gonna get my elbow high and actually throw moving forward, which helps create timing for the arm to get down so I can lag my arm and then the later release. Same thing in the golf swing. We don't want to tuck and pull in. We want to just let the arm come up higher, get nice and relaxed, more leverage. That gives it more time to drop down and then release. Golfers, I want you to understand when we're talking about the trail elbow, we want to make sure you know that, we've talked a lot about what the lead arm does. We do that arm bar drill where we maintain that arm to that chest. We really want to do that, but when we're moving our lead side and maintaining and shifting our hips through, we got to think of that trail side as well. I don't want that elbow to be stuck into that side like we said. We don't want that elbow stuck to the side. I want that elbow to be moving, which gives us time and helps us lag and helps us maintain that box in the golf swing. Right. So the second position that I often see golfers get into, and this is something you can do, but be wary about how you do it. So the second position you see a lot of golfers get into is a high trail elbow. They get their elbow very high. It usually starts with that elbow working back and across the body in that form, and then it comes up and it gets very high. And you see this in like a Matthew Wolf on tour, a Fred Couples, even Jack Nicklaus got a high elbow. But the trick is, when they got that high elbow, is they were able to get the transition to bring the club back on plane very quickly, and they bring their elbow back in front of their body. That is key to the high elbow position. If you get to a high elbow position and you're trying to push from that position, it's going to cause over the top, early release for sure, and a lack of power, and you're probably gonna hit it both ways. Most likely a lot to the left. So what we wanna do, if you got a high elbow, practice taking it up and just practice getting that elbow to drop down using the transition right there. You're gonna feel your wrist flatten out. You're gonna feel that elbow tuck to the side, and then you can swing through it. It's a tough move to get down. It is, something that can become very, very consistent and repeatable if you're able to do it, but it's a position that takes time to train the elbow to work in that motion as you make the transition. All right, the final position that I think most golfers could be very successful in. It's great for those half swing shots that you're not taking fully to the top, and it'll allow you to create more power and consistency. And that is an elbow position that sits along your spine in about that position. So it's okay if it drops down a little bit more into that position or right in there. So there's a little bit of room to play around with it. But in that position where that elbow kind of falls along the spine, it allows us to get that elbow in front of our body very quickly and just work through. So whether I'm hitting a short chip or if I'm taking it all the way to the top, it's very simple for me to just get that elbow back in front of my body and get it on working down the plane or down my swing path very consistently. So if you struggle with right elbow position, try to just work on getting that elbow. Maybe even work on into it with a mirror and just try to get into that position consistently. So as a bonus, I want to talk about what you guys might be doing to get your elbow out of the correct position. I'm going to give you some drills to make sure it's working in the right spot. So one of the first things that I see a lot of is you see the takeaway and the elbow starts to work back behind, working back across the body. And when we actually take the golf swing and we take out all the rotation in the golf swing, there's a side bend to our lead side, and then the club just lifts up straight in front of us. You can see the club is actually right there with a side bend. I make my rotation, and there's my position at the top of the golf swing. It's not, we say backswing, and it's kind of misleading because the backswing says the club's gonna work back behind us. And if we work back behind us, now that elbow wants to start working up high, then we get that flying elbow, and then most of you sit there and try to do that glove position trick, or your buddies tell you to put that glove underneath there, and then you work on trying to get there, and then you're in a bad position as well, which is even worse than the high elbow. So when we practice this, there's a simple drill we can do. So I want to take your lead arm, put it right behind the elbow, and you've seen me do this on my at-home drills. This is a great way to practice this. You can check out my at-home drills up at the top corner, and you can pattern change at home instead of having to work on this at the golf course, but you can also take it to the golf course, do your practice swings, and get this feeling as well. So what we're gonna do is take that lead hand, put it behind that elbow, put our club down, and we're gonna practice taking trail-handed swings. And what this arm's gonna do is make it so you can't pull that arm back behind us first. You have to rotate, and it puts us in a nice, strong position. You can help that elbow up higher so we're not down here as well. So right there. If your elbow is high, you can feel that club kind of falling. If it's tight, you can feel that tightness to the body. So we want to be right there. Nice, solid 90-degree angle, almost, right around 90-degree angle, and about 100-degree angle with forearm. And then you can practice taking down swings right there. And what you should feel is almost like you're skipping rocks with that club. So instead of it being a push with the right side, we transition it deeper into the swing, so you can see that box we just created right there. There's the box. And we want to bring that box to our side, which helps squish the right side, which we've talked about in the videos about how to create a good hip bump. Check out that video if you haven't watched it. And that helps bring it to the side, gets that hip in the right position, gets our lag deeper, and then the release happens. So maintain the box, down to the side, and then release, and you'll feel a sling with that right hand rather than a push. Super important. So try out that drill, do it at home with my at-home drills, and do it at the golf course as a pre-shot. Golfers, thank you for watching this week. If you liked what you saw, think about hitting that like button, think about hitting that subscribe button. And remember, if your feet aren't working, your swing's not working. Catch you guys next time.